Ron, you've been in the security industry for many years now. Can you share with us some of the new threats that organizations are dealing with today?
Of course, Shira. Let's first take a look at a high-level view of the global attack landscape. The information you see here is attack activity witnessed through our global cloud security network during the past month. As Roy mentioned, DDoS attacks continue to rise. We blocked over 163,000 long-lasting attacks hitting our customers in 1 month, with 53 attacks above 10 gig. Looking at web application attacks, we blocked over 159 million attacks. Each attack is a single request that can lead to data leak, malware infection, or gaining control of the application. We also see that every vertical is targeted by financially motivated attackers who are looking to steal money, goods, or data. Now, I would like to introduce Pascal Geenens, Radware's Director of Cyber Threat Intelligence, who is located in Belgium. Hello, Pascal.
Hey, Ron. Good to see you. Hope you're holding up fine in your part of the world.
Pascal, the first question, there are different players and motivations in the cybercrime industry. Can you describe who are the typical actors and their motivations?
Sure, Ron. We see different actors and we classify them based on their abilities and skill level as well as their motivation. Organized crime groups are mostly driven by financial gain, for example. We also have angry users who are mainly driven by emotions, while hacktivists are driven by ideology. Competitors, on the other hand, are more driven by their business, and script kiddies, well, these are kind of a special group which contains a very large range of skill levels and motives, but I would say that e-fame is one of the main drivers for them. And finally, we have nation states who are driven by geopolitics.
Well, these are our neighbors. Last month, Pascal, we released an advisory about a global threat extortion campaign targeting finance, e-commerce, and travel. Do we still see this campaign going on?
Yeah, so DDoS extortion and ransom DDoS is one example of how service disruption can be monetized. In DDoS extortions, malicious actors will typically send a ransom email asking for a certain amount of bitcoins to be sent to a specific wallet. If the targeted organization does not pay, they risk falling victim to large DDoS attacks. Those actors will typically pose as infamous groups such as Fancy Bear or Lazarus Group to instill fear in their targets. We also see fake letters, hoaxes as we call them, and they often closely follow the real ransom campaign. The fakes look identical to the real letters, but are sent by random actors who do not have the attack tools to follow through with an actual DDoS attack. This year's extortion campaign has been running now for over 2 months. And that must be one of the longest and most pervasive campaigns that we have seen since we started tracking those years ago.
So if a bank or another organization receives this ransom email, should they pay the ransom to avoid service disruption?
No, we do not advise organizations to pay. Paying will motivate the attackers and allow them to invest in better and more devastating tools and attack vectors. Paying also gives you no guarantee that the organization will not suffer the attack. After all, we're dealing with cyber criminals and their ethics are still up for debate.
So don't pay. Another industry, Pascal, that consistently suffers from cyber attacks is the online gaming industry. Can you tell us who typically attacks gaming sites and what is the impact of these attackers on the gamers?
Yeah, so online gaming is a very particular industry. There's a lot of emotion involved, and gamers are typically less mature and they have lower ethical thresholds. Cheating is very common amongst those communities and one reason behind DDoS attacks on that industry. You will also find gamers turning against developers as they face major disappointment. And this happened actually earlier this month when developers of World of Warcraft announced that they had to postpone a much anticipated expansion. And a day later, Blizzard found itself the target of DDoS attacks from disappointed fans.
So what is the impact of a DDoS attack on a gaming site?
Well, very annoying. DDoS attacks will cause long lobby wait times, high latency in-game, freezing and disconnecting sessions. It's all very frustrating for the good kids and us adults who are just looking for a nice time online with friends. This frustration can quickly lead to customer churn, like players moving to other games, damage the brand's reputation, and of course, a significant financial loss for every second of downtime.
Very interesting. So the accelerated digital transformation increases the attack surface. We discussed this today, and we see also the increase in cybercrime. An example of that is the warning issued by the cyber division of the FBI about cyber actors conducting credential stuffing attacks against the US financial sector. So Pascal, why would the FBI publish such a warning?
Well, in the last couple of years, a lot of organizations have suffered data breaches, resulting in millions of accounts being leaked and sold on the underground. And that makes credential stuffing very effective for account takeover. Now, due to the pandemic, businesses started to implement remote access solutions to allow workers to connect from home. In many cases, however, they did not implement proper identity and secure access mechanisms, and this led to a serious increase in the attack surface. It is no surprise the account takeover attacks are on the rise, and we see this growing trend since March of this year in our deception network. Now, because of the way ATO works, the intensity of the request can be that high that it will impact the server and network resources up to the point that the service gets completely disrupted, just as with the DDoS attack.
Unbelievable. So I want to thank you, Pascal, for joining us today from Belgium and sharing your insights. Now, in the next segment, I had a chance to visit Radware Emergency Response Team, which is called the ERT, to talk to our experts and hear stories from the front line of fighting cybercrime.
Hi, welcome to Radware. Let me take you to the ERT. Come with me. Hi, Lena.
Hi Ron, welcome to ERT.
Thank you. Lena is our ERT expert, and I have several questions for you.
Sure, go ahead.
What is the threat landscape that you see here at the ERT, and what are the top attacks that target our customers?
Attacks extend to different categories. We focus on application level. Those attacks target web, mobile API servers in order to gain access over sensitive information. We have also bot attacks. Those make money from digital fraud and also take over accounts. And of course, network application level. This is DDoS to cause service degradation or outage to the customer server or some service degradation. Let's drill down and take a look on the vectors. Speaking of common vectors, I'd say UDP, since it's easy to launch and reaches high volume. However, what is true today might be different reality tomorrow. For example, for the last 1 hour, we can see DNS flood and TCP flood are the most common vectors for DDoS. For web applications, the vectors are usually spread. If we take a look once again for the last 1 hour, we can see cross-site scripted injection and access violation as the top 3.
Can we also see bot attacks?
Sure. Bot traffic represents half of the entire web traffic. So when it comes to attack, the portion grows extremely. For example, we can take a customer and take a look on the statistics from the last 7 days. You can clearly see a spike here. This spike represents an attack. In red, you can see bad bot activities, and in green, you can see legitimate traffic.
So how long a typical DDoS attack lasts?
I'd say 1 hour, but sometimes days or even weeks. For example, last month we had a big customer who was targeted for 2 weeks in a row.
Are victims attacked by one vector or more?
It's a tricky question. Sometimes an attack can start with one vector and develop into a complex multi-vector attack. Sometimes it can also be a low volume application level attack and escalate to large scale DDoS flooding. It's really up to the attacker's skills and motivation. But the bottom line is that our advanced technologies are dedicated to adapt to those complex attacks.
Lena, are there customers under attack right now?
Of course, all the time. Just take a look on this live map. The arrows represent ongoing attacks. Different colors represent different attack types.
Wow.
This is just our reality.
And one last question. What advice can you give to our customers?
So what I can say for sure is that everyone are exposed to cyber attacks, either web, bots, or DDoS. The attacks are becoming more and more complex and automated by the day. Running such spread operations center empowers every individual asset to benefit from the collective knowledge, which ensures our customer safe operation.
Thank you, Lena, for your time.
Thank you.
I feel much safer now. I hope that you do too.